Good morning. It is a gloriously sunny day in San Diego today. I know especially my friends and my family in Europe love hearing me say that. Not at all. Anyway, the sky is blue, the grass is green, the sun is shining. Bit nippy though. And it's probably not going to last because it'll get cold again. Anyway, I am not the weather girl. I just like to talk about things I enjoy, and sunshine is something I enjoy. So the other thing I enjoy is growing my business and helping other people grow theirs. So before we begin talking about masterminds, which is a really, really good conversation to have, let me introduce myself. Just in case you don't know me, I am Andrea Kuchin here at MyHomeBizTIPS. We help business owners, mostly business owners working from home. But that was before COVID hit. Now lots of people are working from home. We are part of PhDinFollowUp. Follow-up being a big thing. And I'm learning as I teach. It's incredible. Anyway, you can reach me at Andrea at MyHomeBizTips. You can also call or text me on 858-252-1190 if you need anything at all. You can also book an appointment, calendly.com, Andrea Kuchin. And you can find out more information about us, what we do, how we help at myhomebiz.tips. myhomebiz.tips. TIPS stands for Tools and Ideas That Produce Success. If you go to that website, it will also link to our main website, which is PhDinFollowUp. Okay, so let's put the name back and let's get started. Masterminds. Most of you have probably heard of Henry Ford, or at least you've heard of the Ford Motor Company. And you've got some concept of how absolutely enormous that company is. Well, it's been pretty big for quite a long time. Now, Henry Ford started, I'm not sure exactly when, but at the beginning of the last century. So sort of, just over 100 years ago. So beginning of the last century, he was making Ford motor cars, and he decided that he would grow his business better if he could bounce ideas around with somebody. Now, the person he chose, this is quite interesting considering the timing of this, but the person he chose to bounce ideas around with was his wife, Mrs. Ford. So he would mastermind with his wife and bouncing ideas around with her, brainstorming, if you like, with her, helped him look at things in a different way, be inspired, and grow an absolutely enormous business that's lasted well over 100 years and has a pretty bright future. I think you'll agree. So what is it that you get from being in a mastermind, or as I like to call it, brainstorming, which helps you grow your business? Well, I've been thinking about this a lot actually recently because it's occurred to me that it is something I need to do. And yes, I've got an offer at the end of this message to you as well. So what you get if you're in a relatively small, relatively experienced group of business owners is their experience. Now, it doesn't matter if they're doing the same thing as you or if they're doing something completely different from you. So you could do a mastermind group with a coach, even if you're not a coach, you're a health practitioner, or you're a coach and they're an MLMer, or you're an MLMer and they're a health practitioner and a coach and an author and a virtual assistant. Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter what business you're in, because as I have realized and learned so many times in my working life, The one thing that all businesses struggle with, because initially they don't seem to realize that that's what they have to do, which they all, looking back, think they should have realized at the beginning but didn't, is that in order to survive in your business, you don't have to do what it is that your business is. In other words, in order to survive in an MLM, it's not the doing of the MLM. It's not the building of your sales team, which is effectively what an MLM is. When you're a coach, it's not the coaching. When you're a massage therapist, it's not the massaging. That's not where the issue is. That's not how you build your business. No, I know it sounds really weird, and I can hear some of you, I've got extra great ears, I can hear some of you going, don't be so stupid, Andrea, of course it is. Nah, it isn't. The thing that grows your business is the fact that you can sell those things to somebody, right? Because you can do massages all day long. You can sell your health products or whatever it is you're selling all day long. But you can only do that when you've got somebody to sell to. If you're not marketing your business and selling your business effectively, you're not making any money. So you go into your business as a coach or a consultant or a real estate agent or an MLMer or a wealth consultant, financial person, bookkeeper, author, whatever it is. You go into your business believing that the world needs your product. And trust me, it does. But if you're not marketing and selling, the world doesn't know your product is there, and you're not going to make any money. So it doesn't matter what business you're in. The fact that you've got to sell it puts you in the same place as the other people. So all the people I've mentioned this morning, and I'm not going to mention them all again, have something in common because they're all trying to sell what they've got. They are probably not trained marketers or salespeople. They might not have a superpower in that area at all. Their superpower will be selling houses or doing massages or doing somebody's bookkeeping or helping somebody write a book. Those are their superpowers, right? Their superpowers are not the marketing part. So if they were to sit in a room together or in a Zoom call and meet regularly and bounce ideas around about their experience with marketing, things they've done that with marketing that have worked, things they haven't worked, said, I don't know why it didn't work. Does anyone else have any ideas? And somebody else who tried it and it did work can say, yeah, I did it this way and it worked. If that group of people could learn from each other, support each other, don't you think they'd all benefit? Right. Now, the problem with people joining marketing groups, mastermind groups, I beg your pardon, the problem that I have found with people trying to grow mastermind groups is that a lot of people don't believe they have the right to be there. What? A lot of people think that because they haven't mastered their own business growth, their own marketing, that they don't have the right to be part of a group. That's that imposter syndrome creeping up again. Because if you have some experience of doing something, whether it worked or did not work, you have a valuable experience to share. Why would the fact that it didn't work be of value? Because you learned something, right? You learned that doing it that way does not work. That could be incredibly valuable to somebody else who's just about to do something that way. Don't you think it would help them to know that it did not work? and that something else needs to happen to make it work. And even if you haven't figured out what that something else is, do you not think that in a group of half a dozen or 8 or 10 or 12 people, you might be able to figure that out, what that missing piece is? Right. So you speed up your learning and your development in those areas dramatically because you're in a group of other people from whose experiences you can learn whether they were positive or whether they were negative. Does that make sense? Hands up if you think that makes sense. Yeah, exactly. I thought so. It does make sense. So to be able to contribute to a mastermind group, you don't have to be a master. You just have to have a mind. And I think that we can all agree, however severe our cases of imposter syndrome are, I think we can all agree that we have a mind. And even if we haven't been in business very long, or it hasn't turned out to be as successful as we thought it was going to be, we have experience of something. Something you did worked. Some client somewhere at some point was happy with something that you gave them. Now, somehow that person heard about it. So you did something somewhere that worked. If we can take that and build on that, maybe bouncing a few ideas around in a mastermind group, we're going to benefit, aren't we? Now, this Facebook group is not the right place because there are too many people in it and not everybody's engaging with it as often as necessary. So I'm going to create a new Facebook group, which will be a mastermind group. And anybody is welcome to apply, although not everyone will be accepted because this is going to be a small group, right? I want to start with just a few people. And I want it to grow because I want to build a way of making it successful. How is a mastermind group successful? It needs to give everyone the opportunity to share, to talk about what's working for them, but it also needs to give people the opportunity of telling the rest of the group what's not working. But we don't want the same people to be talking and benefiting every group. So there has to be a structure to it. And that will depend on how many people are in the group. And then we need to figure out what an ideal number is. 6 might be too small. 10 might be too big. So maybe it's 8. So I want to experiment with all those things in a group of people who are like-minded. In other words, people who see the benefit of sharing ideas for growth. That's what I want to do. We can mentor each other, support each other, and help each other through our combined years of experience. The other thing I think a mastermind group can create, which you don't get anywhere else at all, is accountability. Now, a long time ago, I started teaching accountability. And in fact, in the platforms that I was teaching it at that time, I was the only person teaching it. And then I went and did something else. And then I ran out of hours in the day and my accountability coaching fell behind. And I've not really looked at it again in that way. So accountability is going to be part of it. So within our group, which has to have an even number, it has to be 2 or 4 or 6 people, we will break up into accountability pods and have meetings with each other and support each other in between our mastermind groups, right? And I don't know whether that will be for a month or 2 months or 3 months before we change partners, or whether we'll never change partners because after all, it's just an accountability check-in. I don't know. We have to experiment with that. So again, I'm looking for people to join my mastermind who are willing to experiment, willing to try things out, willing to test the waters and help me create a structure which we can then implement over many groups. And eventually the mastermind group will be absolutely enormous because there'll be lots of different groups within it. And within those groups, there'll be pods of people who are working together, or pairs, or I used to live with someone who did deep sea diving, and buddies, diving buddies. So maybe we'll be buddies instead. I don't know. We'll find a term that everybody loves. So that's the offer. So if you are interested in joining with me in a mastermind, email me, because I'd like to know how many people. Obviously, I want to get it started as fast as possible. So next week would be great, or even at the end of this week would be great. Let me know. I think it should be an hour that we meet. I think it should be every week. And I think in between the pods that are created, or the buddy partnerships, or the twins, or whatever terminology we use, I think they should meet pretty much on a daily basis. So there's a commitment. That's a 10-minute meeting on a daily basis. It's not an hour. It's an hour when we join together, but it's 10 minutes a day. And you can choose whether you want to do it at weekends or not. So if you're interested in this, Andrea at MyHomeBizTIPS, or you can text me, 858-252-1190, 858-252-1190. Okay? So to recap, the value of a mastermind group, and this comes from Henry Ford, not me. I'm not inventing this. I'm not making it up as I'm going along. Nothing that I'm teaching you is just me having an idea. It's all stuff that I've learned that's come through people who've done really well, that I've implemented, that has seemed to work. And some things, when they're new and I'm implementing them, I've asked you to join me, right? I've been inside other people's mastermind groups, and they've been incredibly helpful. This time, I'm creating one because I want it to be exactly the way that I want. Why? Because in a mastermind group, regardless of which mastermind group it is, this isn't selling mine now. This is just telling you, go and find one. It doesn't have to be mine. It can be somebody else's. You get the wealth of experience of the other people, which reduces the possibility or the probability of your making a mistake. In other words, you can learn from other people's mistakes. How much easier would your life be in general if you could have learned through other people's mistakes? Hell yes. I don't know why it is that we always seem to think that we have to make the mistakes in ourselves, but we can do that in our real lives. In our business lives, we don't have to. In our business lives, we can learn from other people's mistakes. Then there's inspiration, right? You have half an idea, but you're not quite there yet. Somebody else can say something that might inspire you. Or maybe you're struggling with a problem that you don't know how to fix, and someone else knows how to fix it because they've done it before. Or maybe somebody else has a problem that they're trying to fix that you know the answer to, but you didn't even realize you knew the answer to because nobody had asked you the question. Because don't forget that one of the best things in life that we can possibly do, which is after all, while we're all in business, is help another person. And never underestimate your value, your ability to help another person, whoever that person may be, and however it might come about. You, with your limited experience and your limited confidence, even possibly, you can still help someone. So don't get imposter syndrome. You are a unique individual. The world needs you. We need you. Other mastermind groups need you. Other Facebook groups need you. Other people need you. Your clients need you. But if you're interested in participating with us, that would be great. Your ability to help somebody else, the gains that you get from helping other people can sometimes be even bigger than the gains that you get from helping other people or from having other people help you. Okay, those are really important. So in a mastermind group, you get help yourself for your questions. You get to help other people with their questions. You get to try out new ideas. You get to survey people. You get feedback on your ideas, your designs, your whatever it is. You get feedback. And those things are all incredibly valuable. What's wrong with my mouth today? Those things are all incredibly valuable. As you know, I am sure you don't need me to tell you. You might need me to remind you a little bit sometimes, but you know in your heart of hearts that what I'm saying is true. So if you're interested in partnering with me or joining me in a mastermind group, not sure what to call it yet, but I will be hosting it in Facebook. If that is something that is of interest to you, let me know. I had this idea at about 6:30 this morning, so I don't have an application form or anything like that yet, but I will have very, very soon. So send me a text message or an email to let me know if you're interested. And if you're not, but you know somebody who you think might be, or somebody mentioned to you recently that they'd like to participate in a mastermind, send them my way. I'm always happy to share. That's how we grow our communities, by supporting each other and referring other people to each other. That's one of the big reasons that Robert and I even started our business, PhDinFollowUp, because when you follow up more, when you connect more with people, then your business grows. And you can do that by building better relationships and by having better ideas, which is why you want to be part of a mastermind group of some kind. Okay, I think that's it for today. I think I have spoken enough. I've certainly run out of things to say. So I will wish you a fabulous Tuesday. It's never my intention to keep you here for long. It's my intention to give you something of value. And I think you get the value of masterminds now. So I shall say goodbye, wish you a wonderful, fabulous Tuesday, and I will see you next week.